So how are the tomato plants doing this year? Well, not so good. Not so good. I talked to other people around the county, and theirs aren't doing all that well either. At least mine are still blooming. I got a hold of a guy who has a large farm, and he said that his have stopped blooming altogether. Plus, we're getting a lot of leaf curl here. Now, leaf curl is caused by sudden temperature changes, irregular watering. Well, these are watered regularly, so I don't know what really caused it. The upper part of the plant is not curling, but the lower part, that there was some, an instant temperature change quite a while back, which I guess affected the lower part, but the upper part's not doing too bad now. We're getting lots of blooms. Not a whole lot of tomatoes, though. We are getting some. Let me see. We planted late in the season, like I said. We're getting a few tomatoes down in here, but nothing, to write home about. Some of the plants are staying real short. I don't understand this at all. It's kind of a strange year for growing things. Anyway, it doesn't look like the tomatoes are going to pan out very well, so we went ahead and bought a case of Arkansas tomatoes. There's 2 layers in here, one on top of the other, and we're going to use a tomato juicer machine we bought the other day, brand new. Cost $160 new, and I was able to pick it up unused, never been used, in the box. Got it for $60. It's made in Italy. It's one of those Italian jobs. So tomorrow is the 4th of July. If we have a little spare time, I'm going to put the wife on the end of the cranking handle and get her to crank some of these tomatoes out, right?
No, you crank, I'll push.
No, I don't want to crank, honey. I think you should do the cranking.
No, you crank.
This is woman's cranking the tomatoes is a woman's job.
No.
Now here's something interesting. The wife said she wanted some cucumbers, so I went out and put up a fence to grow our cucumbers on. She came home, she planted these things, and they turned out to be squash. So every time I talk to the wife now, I say your cucumbers are doing good out there. Anyway, they're not doing it all. Not at all. We've watered them, we've fertilized them, and all they're doing, they just put out a whole bunch of blooms, and that was it. No fruit. This year I haven't seen any bees around anywhere. No bees. No bumblebees. No honeybees. No anything. It might be part of our problem. I don't know. I recently received a comment from a viewer concerning the first television I restored, or at least, got it playing. It's not really restored. It's the that old brown, that old RCA. Those of you who follow my vids, it was the one that Brendan taught me everything I knew about that, and how to do these TVs. But anyway, the commenter said, your TV's kind of a little hokey still, which I know, I'm going to get back to it. We're going to redo an alignment and a few other things. He said, what you might have is a bad modulator, or a cheap one, that doesn't really do the job very well. Yeah, I had to agree with him. It is a cheap one. Well, I went flea marketing today, and look what I managed to pick up. A brand new in-the-box Radio Shack modulator. And it just so happens the guy that owned the booth in the flea market was there. He was straightening things up. And he told me he bought this thing brand new for himself and just never used it a couple of years ago. He got it from Radio Shack. And he said he wanted $20 for it. And he sold it to me for $14.99. I said, okay, what a heck of a deal. Has all the cables with it. He said, Brand, I don't know. He said, sometimes I buy things, I never use them. He said, I don't know why I do this. But he said, I kept it at the house long enough, and I decided to just bring it out and put it on the flea market shelf. Check out the wife's crepe myrtle tree. Crepe myrtle. Boy, it's just putting out blooms everywhere this year. Looks really nice. Lots of crepe myrtles. And the wife's double daylilies are coming up really nice too. They're really great. We got a couple over here just blooming out everywhere. Boy, they are really good looking flowers. I'm not usually a flower guy, but my goodness, this year we've been getting an abundance of everything. But we're getting pretty close to the end of everything. We're in the month of July, and now the sun will begin to take over Arkansas. And already the grass is beginning to turn slightly brown, if you can see it out there. Turning a little bit brown, and in places it's beginning to crunch under your feet when you walk. That's just the way it is down here. Alright, this is the way we do it. We slide this glass cake pan, I guess is what you would call it, up against, so the back, right here, the lip falls underneath this area here, because we don't want any of the tomato juice that comes out to wind up over here. So we stick it right up against there, and I take this small plastic thing and set it right here, and that catches the all the skins and seeds and crap that comes out. All we're going to have in here is the juice itself. You'll see. I'll show you. Well, as you can see, we've got some cracked ceramic tiles. There's this one, this one, this one, this one, all over in this one corner, and it's beginning to start over here also. It's just what I needed. I just replaced this floor not long ago. So, nothing was amiss up here. I thought it might have been, this dishwasher here leaking some water under there, causing the wood to cave in or something. Nope, that's not the problem. It's still nice and tight. So I went under the house and looked around. I crawled under there, with the spiders and snakes and things. No termite damage, which I was really worried about. Just turns out that I've got a sag in the floor all of a sudden. We never had these problems until they started doing this fracking. And all these little earth tremors and weird things have been happening. And we were getting like 100 tremors a day, and they said it wasn't their fault, but as soon as they stopped doing it, guess what? The tremors went away. Anyway, I'm going to go down to Lowe's, pick up a couple of bottle jacks. I've already got some, jacks on order, screw jacks that'll hold it back up. I'm going to bring this all up slowly over a period of a month. Go down there, jack a little bit, and then bring it up, jack a little bit, until I get things even again. Bummer. Wifey does the cutting, or the peeling and the cutting, and then she throws them in here. And then I do the cranking. I couldn't get Great Grandma to do the cranking. She wouldn't do it. So that's all there is to it. I just kind of shove them down in there, and you usually have a pestle. It's called a pestle. But this thing didn't come with a pestle. I don't know what's going on. So I wash my hands. I just shove them down with my fingers. It all gets boiled later on anyway. And I'm a clean machine. Right, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here goes. Alright, as I crank this handle, the tomatoes go down into here from this container. Then they get forced out through this strainer you see here. And the juice comes out through the strainer, and the seeds and skin come out the end down here. Alright, after about 5 minutes of cranking the handle, we've still got tons of tomatoes to still do, but it only took 5 minutes to fill this container up. And then of course here's more of the scrap that comes out of it. That's the skin and the seeds and whatever other hard things don't belong in your tomato juice. You just chunk that in there. I filled up about 5 of those, I guess, already on this grind. Okay, let's take this over and pour it in the large pot. Well, once again, I've been real happy today and showing Wifey how to do something. She's been needing to know how to cook tomato juice, homemade tomato juice, for quite a while. Aren't you glad I taught you, baby? Hello? We got us quite a bit of tomato juice here. I can't wait. These will be the jars they go in. I hope we fill every one of them. I love homemade tomato juice. There we are. Almost 12 quarts of tomato juice. We got 11 full ones. We're waiting for them to pop, the lids to pop. And this one here didn't quite fill the jar. Just shy, just a little bit. Goes right there. So we'll be drinking that probably tomorrow morning, won't we, babe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Incidentally, most people put a teaspoon of salt to every quart. We didn't do that. We put salt in the entire container. We put the entire the salt in there, and we got it to where we liked it, to where it tasted good. Then we added a little bit of sugar also, because it was kind of bitter, and we think it tastes just about right. And then she went ahead and finished boiling it and went ahead and canned it. And the peaches are now being sold at the Arkansas farmers fruit stands around town, and we went up and bought a bunch of them the other day, and we cut them up and cleaned them, skinned them, cut them up, and we got some that's been frozen. And this bag we kept out, we got a little sugar in there. It's been soaking in some sugar. It's going to make a peach cobbler this weekend. Today is Thursday, July 4th, and Saturday or Sunday I'm going to fire up the old wood out there in the backyard, and I'm going to make a peach cobbler. Somebody's been asking for a peach cobbler. Can't remember who it was. One of my viewers said, you know, why don't you do another peach cobbler? I said, okay, I'll see what I can do. Of course, you know, it doesn't take much to twist my arm to make a peach cobbler. Alright, we've got Grandma out here, and she is picking away at this plant, kind of pulling them off the fence, having a time of herself, I guess.
Small bird.
Hey, it's July, Grandma. I have a very important question.
Small bird.
It's like 90s out here. Why are you wearing a heavy sweater?
Well, I'll put it like this. It's none of your business.
None of my business. Hey, Grant, have you ever been to an Arkansas summer?
No.
No, you never have? Well, you know, it gets pretty hot. You might want to take that sweater off.
You couldn't gas for me. No, I've been take it off.
You're sitting here sweating and you've been meaning to take it off. Poor thing.
Shut up.
By the way, Great Grandma's got her boot off, and the doctor said she can put full weight on that broken leg bone, those 2 broken leg bones now. So she's in good shape now. Well, it's ice cream time for the 3 pooches, the 3 boys. And I think Grandma and I will have some also. Great Grandma's is there. That's mine. And the pooches. Let's see if they want it. Well, they did want it. There's Boo Boo. Let's see, Mac. Boo Boo. And where's Rocky? You know, Rocky, he's too good to come down off the sofa. He wants to eat it right there. What are you doing in the bed? It's ice cream time. Get your buns up. You better get up. Here. Yeah, you gonna be able to make it? You want me to prop your pillow up?
No.
You sure you can eat that stuff now? You sure you can eat that?
What is it?
It's butter pecan ice cream with some caramel on it. You think you can handle it? Yeah. And last but not least, yeah, you remember my last Mish-Mash video, I needed to put up the gutter with the downspout over the top of the awning, and that has been done. And the clamps across the downspout, you know, I put a little screw through them to hold everything in place. But you know, they're going to rust. We get so much rain here in Arkansas, especially in the spring. I think what I'll do is just kind of put a couple of shots of clear coat on that, and the one that goes through the cement. I'll do that on both clamps, that one and the one down there. The only thing left to do is put one of those stretchable things, you know, where I can divert the water any direction I want. It's like an accordion tube. I'll show you that at a later date. Anyway, until next time, this is John.